Good morning, everyone. We will be working on some mug rugs today because they make a really good Christmas present. And if you have recently rewarped your loom, you can use up a whole bunch of warp all at one time by leaving some gaps in between each one, as we are going to do with this little friend. I'm going to just show you some techniques I have developed for making it go quicker. And I think these are a really nice gift idea. If you have a loom, or even just like the fun kids loom, this is Orlando Loom, specifically. All of them are getting names. I'm also entertaining Claire de Loom and Petaluma for the other looms. You'll leave your thoughts in the comments for loom names. Anyway, let's make some mug rugs as some easy holiday gifts. Well, hello. Ignore the pliers. We're using that for a different part of this looming experience. Anyway, what I'm going to do is use up the gaggle of warp that I put on here. Oh, Lord, I just dropped the whole shuttle. She's back. We're good. Okay. Anyway, I am going to weave mug rugs. What I've been doing is using one of my big needles and just threading these back down through. You can see a couple where I didn't cut them off quite small enough. But what we're going to do is use this as the back. And if we leave big giant gaps in between these, we get enough that we can tie them off and turn them into little mug rugs for you to set your mug on so you don't burn your desk, which is fun. And we can use up all of the hand-dyed yarn from this summer that I used. And then we will have a bunch of really fun, nice little gifts. The thing I have found the most difficult is getting the actual, the tails to go down. I don't know if you're actually just supposed to weave it back through, but I don't think that is as secure as shoving it down the warp. That could be totally wrong, 100% honest. I'm not experienced at this, and we're all just learning as we go. But we need a few more rows here, but I wanted to show it to you before I scooched the entire thing down the breast bars, as they call them. And we will continue, and I guess I will just speed through making some mug rugs so that we can enjoy some music and crafting together. And I hope that it is peaceful and enjoyable. And if you would like to see more of this or come sew with me, please check out my Patreon or any of the links down below. And I won't say it again in the whole video. I'll just bother you the once. All right, so let us get a little more room, since there's not a ton of room for me to pass my past the actual shuttle at this point. Like, there's not a huge gap because it's so nice and tight. And then we will continue on. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, what I do when I reach the end of a mug rug and I've reached the end of the color of yarn, I will hoard back. Like, the only reason I stopped this is because I needed this little chunk of this color. And I will label it as number 1, so I know which mug rug on the row that it goes to. And I will save actually some of this magenta cochineal yarn as well, because when I get this to like a perfect square, which I think will be about right here, like maybe 8 more rows, I think, I will save all of the rest of this and mark it in a baggie with 1 so that I know I have that to make fringe with when we go back and take everyone off of the warps, or off of the loom, and tie the warps off. So then we will have matching fringe for each of our mug rugs. And that is how I keep that even a little bit organized and remember what things are for. I'll mark this with a 1 and a mug rug with a pen. And then I'll know why on earth I have 2 tiny scraps of yarn stored somewhere. God forbid this doesn't get finished when I want it to. But if it doesn't, I'll know what this is for. And that's important. Label things. Because your ADHD won't remember, I promise. It won't. All right, let's get to weaving this. And I'll kind of show you the problem that I'm having pulling them down through, which is why I have a plier, because my hand dystonia has been really bad this week. So let us begin. Hello, a quick pause because in between all of that, there was a warp issue and I had to nearly rewarp the entire loom. It got all weird. Not exactly sure what I did initially to create that level of issue, but it was there. Anyway, wanted to show you, I had to cut this off and rewarp the front of the loom and sort of rewarp the back. I basically rewarped the loom. Anyway, I wanted to show you what this looks like so that you will know when you take your first one off. You will have basically a set of threads each, and you're going to want to tie a square knot or some sort of non-movable knot, but also one that won't tighten down on itself, lest you then have it crunkle up your nice weaving you just did. So there's the first set. Here is the second one. And I will just continue on in this way. And hopefully this will stay semi-normally warped for the rest of this process because I don't really want to cut off each individual rug as I make it for the little mug rugs that we are making as gifts. I tied that one wrong, so it will slide if I don't tie another loop. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to go down this and tie them. And then these little, get out of there. These little areas right here where your warps are, in between those or right on the loop of the warp, you can shove a crochet hook through there. I don't have one handy at the moment. And that is what I will use to hang all of our saved, for rug one, fringe. So I'll make some, I'll cut some fringe in varying, semi-normal or semi-even lengths, because it doesn't matter, we'll trim it. And then we can attach those. But for now, I'm just going to tie this one off, and I'll probably fringe everything at the end, because it's kind of a semi-annoying process, and I'd rather just get it all out of the way all at once, and Henry Ford the system. But anyway, here's our first little mug rug, which I think is super cute. Already tied off this side, because there was stuff happening. Anyway, and then this side is just ready to have the rest of it tied off. It's packed very densely so that it actually will protect your item from heat. So I do recommend you packing down your fibers pretty sturdily. That was the issue I was having with this and why I had to rewarp it, and also why you didn't see me make part of the first one of these, which I had to take off and then rewarp the loom. It was an incident. Anyway, did that at about 1 a.m. this morning because I couldn't go to sleep knowing it was sitting there, and I was afraid I would forget which point of the hellish process I was in before I fell asleep, or before I woke up the next day. So I just went with it, and now we're here. So I'm going to finish tying off this guy, and then we'll go back to weaving these. And I highly recommend using like a big fat tapestry needle made for like doing amigurumi crochet, because it's got a much bigger eye on the back, and you won't have as much trouble getting it to pull through. I was struggling with a sashiko needle. Why was I using a sashiko needle? Because I didn't want to go find out where this was. Where was this? It was just in the front of my desk. I had already put it in a more accessible location. So we call that AuDHD scaffolding. Anyway, I will finish tying this guy off, and we will continue our mug ruggery. That's our current factory job, I guess.
finally did it in something that unexpectedly took an unholy amount of time, and I never thought that I would get that many just on one set of warps. Keep in mind I warped this with just strands of DMC. It was like one skein for each one. That was wildly unnecessary. That's too much. Whomever told me that was a good idea, it is a good idea if you want to make mug rugs until you die. But we finally run out of yarn. We are down to the scrap-ins, and they have all been labeled in reverse order. So they match which one they go to, as I told you we were going to do at the beginning. And so we have all of our fluff options here, and mug rug 1, which had to be taken off due to a knotting issue. Anyway, we will take this off of the warp, and I don't know how much of it, because I can't stand the entire time. I have to stand like 60-40 for the sake of my SI joints, but I will unwarp this, and I will at least get video of me tying off several of them, if not all of them, because I just can't stand here all night. That's just, it's too much. I will do some of them. But you can see, look at our roll of mug rugs on there, and we just have a nice long distance so that we can cut in between and tie them off, and then we will make them their fringes. And we still have more than I care to admit at the back, but we've run out of yarn, and so that's neither here nor there, and that means we can be done with it. That's the rule that my brain made. So we are done with the roll of the mug rugs, and now we will get into the finishing of said mug rugs, and they will be ready in time for Christmas, hopefully. You know, like what, 12 days, 14 days, something like that? Anyway, we'll get there. And otherwise, I'm really happy with them, and it's a great use of all your like baby scrappy yarns. Even if you tied them and used like scraps going across ways and tied every single one down, it would still be a really cool mug rug, as long as you have enough flat spot in the middle for a mug to rest comfortably. All right, let's unwarp this, which is very scary, but we can do it. We've done it before, we can do it again. Still scary.
Well, good morning. In the night, I tied up all the ends of our mug rugs here, and now we will be grabbing a crochet hook because it will make it easier to do this part. And all we are going to do, this is mug rug 1, so we got a 1. We saved all of our fringes. And we will cut, I believe there's 13 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so 13 on each side. So we will need 26 pieces, basically, of each, or 13 pieces of each, depending on how much fringe we want. What I will do is cut them into lengths, and I will do one sped up for you, but I won't be doing all of them on here. And all I'm going to do is slide my crochet hook between the two warps like that underneath and pull them through and make a little slip knot. So that's all we're going to do, but we're going to do it for all of these, and we're going to do it 26 times for each mug rug. Look how cute they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, let's fringe the little bastards. Well, that took considerably longer than weaving each of them,
to be perfectly honest. However, the results are very good. We have all of our little buddies here. They look extremely delicious and festive. And I have saved this one to show you what I was doing. So, I just have a crochet hook. This, I think, is like a 3. Yeah, it's a 3. And in this case, I just kind of divided up. Sorry, I have to turn my fan on my hands or else my hands will get sweaty. You need to come in through the back to get this pretty knot on the top. And it's not really a knot, it's more of a slip knot, but because, sorry, I'm a little tired, but because it is a wool, it will kind of felt together. So, trying to do this through the camera without looking at my hands. What we want to do is get between the 2 warp lines, not just be floating in between them. So I'm going to try and force my hook, that'll do, through that warp line. And then I'm going to trap these first few are a little bit harrowing, just till you get your rhythm going. Then I'm going to hook my 3 strands here. Come on, buddy. You can focus. You can do it. Come on. Anytime you're ready. Come on. Oh, for pity's sake. Thank you. All right. So we're going to hold these out of the way and pull this through to the back. Thusly, don't pull your whole tail through. That will not behoove anyone. So get yourself your loops pulled through evenly, which I made hard on myself here. All right. So we have our loops. Now we are going to, we want these with the knot of the warp to be on top here, as you can see, because then it will be on the bottom when we shove it through to make our little slip knot. So we're going to grab all of those, try to keep the other ones out of the way. I got a little faster at this, but it ended up taking me about a half an hour for each one. And then we are going to ignore these because pulling on them will do absolutely nothing at all. They're tied to a knot. So we're going to mush those out of the way, and then we're going to grab the tails and pull. And you're just going to kind of hand tighten the strands until they look nice. We'll do another one with you. I made little piles of 3 pieces of the saved yarn. So again, want to be between these 2 warps. Boy, your focus is really being unhelpful today. Phone, not meant for this purpose. So rude that you're not doing something you're not made for. All right, so we're under and we're between the 2 warps, as you can see. And we're going to grab our 3 pieces, hook them over our, and it doesn't matter if they're even, we're going to trim them off with a straight edge. Make yourself a loop. Grab the warp tails, the other warp tails out of the way. Grab the whole pile, pull it through. Grab the warp tails and get them out of the way. I leave the warp tails because I think they look cute and they add some poof to the underside. So I don't have a problem with them showing. You can weave them in first if you would like, but I was trying to save my hands the trouble. All right, so we're going to repeat this all the way down. And then when we're done, we will trim all these up and we will be done. This video is getting a bit long, so I'll probably just speed through the last part as well as the trimming. To make the trimming easy, I'm going to use a straight edge and the rotary cutter so that we don't try to waste our hands on the scissor action motion with our hands, and also we will get a much more even cut. But I will video all that and speed it up so you don't miss anything, but I don't want this video to get too much longer. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I think these make really great gifts, but let's finish it off strong, and I will get through the rest of this one with you. And here are our finished mug rugs. I think they look great. I think they're adorable. Oops, missed a thread there. You'll definitely want to go back and check. I just used this super cheap as it literally broke in my hand. Not a great plywood quality on that $2 item. Anyway, it looks like we got this pretty darn well. You may have to trim a couple extras after you comb it down, but I find it works best to get just kind of a general medium and then cut it with the wheel. I'm not even sure if this is how you're supposed to do it, but it's how I did it. And if it worked for you, I hope it does. Would you like to get a mug rug if you were a person who knew me in person? I think these would make a great gift. I would be really happy if someone gave me a handmade, like a hand-woven mug rug. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if I have earned your like or subscribe today, I'd be very grateful to have it. I am doing my best to make it as a partially disabled artist. I hope to see you in the next one. We will be making God knows what, but it will be something and it will be an adventure. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!